Agape, cover by Floor Jansen. Agape is a Greco-Christian term referring to unconditional love, the highest form of love, charity, the love of God for man and of man for God. This is exciting. Let's do it. Hold up. I think this is a new timbre that I have not necessarily heard her sing this way before, with this what I would call a float. I mean, I'm sure I've heard it, but with this much sustain in it, the way I was thinking about how impressive this agility is, right? And she brings it with this like breathy floatiness, which requires so much stability in the larynx, countered with so much like steady breath flow. It has to be a very slow flow of air, which is hard. It's incredibly hard to do that. A lot of air very slowly, and that's exactly what's happening here. And it creates this ethereal, very breathy sound, but it's still very compressed and intense. It's not whispery. It's more like highly pressured piano singing. It's so nice. Oh, it's so impressive because it takes so much air to do that. You're using so much air constantly. I mean, she's got like deep sea diver lung capacity, but come on. Oh, that's so exciting. Sorry, let's keep going. Actually, I'll go back because I want to hear it again, just to point out what I'm talking about. All of the space that she's creating is taking this very like light, like and giving it timbre in the vocal tract, right? That space between the larynx and the lips. All of that space she's creating that we can see visibly right here is what's allowing for that sound to be so beautiful. Otherwise, it would just be kind of like if she didn't have that space, it wouldn't be as resonant, as full, as gorgeous. It's a unique way to use your instrument to create interesting sounds that matches the mood that she's trying to emit. It's like true vocal art, right? Yo, what's that? A casual G6 on that little accent note? Wait for it. G5? So high, dude. Oh, that's so high. It is such a warming message in the song, but I still can't help but feeling like she flexes so hard in these covers. It's so awesome. Whoa, it keeps going down. Whoa, let me know you're mine. Moving on the rail of my life, don't know where it's heading now. Saw my promised land pass me by. It stole my fire. I want to turn this train around, head back, regain my fragile pride, but I'm going on. My heart and my mind is gone. What's left is this desperate song, self-referential. I'm singing out to the one I used to know. I was told about a love divine enough to break this fall. Let me rest in that, my dearest one. And then in the chorus repeats. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. Yeah, what's the collab? Is it Floor and Yarko or Floor and Lizzie Hale? Let me know down in the comments. Oh my gosh, there's so much vocal stuff to talk in this. I'm kind of overwhelmed. She has a really sweet, again, masky, very even phonation. This isn't too belty. This is really just resonant, right? Which is awesome because it gives her the flexibility to dip into those other timbres. Now, obviously, this is a studio recording. It's probably done in separate takes. But regardless, we've talked about this so much with Floor's singing, is that it's all planned for the sake of the piece and the trajectory and the journey she's taking you on here. And so this very pure resonance, kind of like an innocent timbre. It's forward. It's not complex. And then we get into some really complex sounds as she continues. Summer promised land passed me by. It stole my fire. I want to turn this train around, head back, regain my fragile pride. But I'm going on. Okay. I always say that one of the best signs of a virtuosic singer or a good technique or whatever is the ability to move the voice without the timbre adjusting, without the timbre of the sound changing very much. So if you can stay with one quality of sound while doing, arpeggios or different, coloratura passages or different agility things, riffs, etc., that's a sign that you're singing on your breath and you're not relying on tension in the throat to make the sound. because it's really kind of, it's impossible to shift without changing the timbre if you're singing from your throat. So a really well-supported, healthy sound is able to move without adjusting the way it sounds. And that's a good test if you're trying a new way of singing, to see if you can do some agility riffs or sing this. Honestly, that's what made me think of it. Going into a song like this with a lot of these da-da-da-da-da, all of these like big leaps and all of this really big motion going on in one breath, and doing it without shifting the timbre in her voice. Floor is really kind of maximizing her ability with the breath and her technique by taking this on. It's fantastic. It's just another testament of her ability. Maintaining so much backspace in her mouth while letting the jaw kind of relax and close and maximizing that space. That's an easier way to let that heady, breathy sound come through the mask, by reducing the openness and just letting it spend a little more time, per se, inside the cavity to gain resonance before it comes out. It's like letting the sound cook a little bit more when you can close the mouth space and open up in the back, because that's what it allows you to do. That's what she's doing. We know she can rely on that open cavity of her mouth to get a lot of color and a bigger sound, but when the jaw is closed, you can... Again, it's like letting the sound cook a little more. That's not actually what's happening, but it's a good way to lower the pressure, lower the volume, and let resonance kind of do its work, as it will. If you have that ability to, raise your soft palate, if you're comfortable with that, it's a great way to do it. And it's such a cool sound she's making. I mean, just purely from an artistic standpoint, it's gorgeous.
It keeps going down. This desperate song, I'm singing out to the one I used to know. I was told about love divine enough to break this fall. Let me rest in that white tears fall.
Sick sequence. I really love this sequence because it's a little like breakdown, entering like the bridge section, and the vocals she puts on it are really pulled back, really like that, utilizing that light quality, and it adds this like meditative calmness to this song, which is a very like comforting song, if you read through the lyrics. It's a comforting idea, and so this kind of calms us down before we get the build-up. But knowing that it's Floor and we just listen to it, the ending is going to contrast that really strongly, which is a really strong artistic take on this piece.
It keeps going down. Let me know I'm fine. It keeps going down, but I know you're
Dude, shut up. That's her. So F5 is kind of her money note. In most of the Nightwish songs she does, they are transposed either for her voice or, for whatever reason, or the vocal line is adjusted for her to kind of cap out at that F5. it's her money note. You know, there's nothing, you can't compare the range of singers, but like to say how good they are or not. It's more about at this level, it's like where are your best notes at? And F5 is Floor's, you know, money note. However, as we just heard, she goes beyond that. No, I meant shut up in the most affectionate way possible. Like, oh, it's so amazing. It's like, how? It's so beautiful. It's like too beautiful, right? It's so impressive. And you know, again, wide open, tongue down and relaxed forward, soft palate raised. This is an awesome angle. We don't usually get this angle, especially in her covers, of just that straight on, like seeing what she's doing with her mouth. It gives reactors, analyzers a really awesome insight into what's going on. At least the vocally acclimated ones. Because in some of her like live videos especially, you can see how she's breathing and you can see like her mechanism at work. And now we really get to analyze, especially in this video, the way she's using the tract, right? The jaw and the mouth and the soft palate. That jaw is always just so relaxed and loose, never gripped, never pulled or pushed in one way or the other. And that's how she can just open up wide on those high notes, but also pull back, right? That's the key to really good singing, is that flexibility to do it all. And that's what she does. Keychains, beautiful. There's that G5. Oh, man. And we really don't often get to hear her in that upper register. Like at the end of Ghost Love Score, we get that, right? Again, that recording was like almost 10 years ago, but it's still, you know, that high register. I love when she dips into it because it's having so much ease at that, you know, stuff above that F5 for her, up in that upper passaggio area. That's the testament of her instrument and her technique really being maximized. I love that. I'm kind of just like I was a huge vocal nerd, so that's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, it's a super repetitive ending, and it's a really catchy melody, so it's definitely gonna be stuck in your heads too. I mean, I think a lot about Floor's covers, and funnily enough, I think we started Big Brain Singer, the reaction channel, like right as she started making covers. So I never really knew Floor before that, because that's, you know, how I learned about her singing and love it. But she's done such amazing work as an artist with that. Does she have 2 channels now? So Floor Jansen Clips and Floor Jansen Genius. Genius, dude. I'm not subscribed on this account. Subscribe. I have separate YouTube accounts that I do stuff from. So, yeah. Agape. Interesting word for a song like this, but I get it. Thank you for that clarification, Capriani. And thank you for a lot, like, getting us to do this. I'm so happy. It's so good. You need a little Floor every day. I think that's what Dorkney does now. You guys have thoroughly convinced my girlfriend to be like a Nightwish stan, like through and through. She is Nightwish Army. It's awesome. And so am I. But I gotta be neutral for work.